I spent 2 years designing a $12 million masterpiece on a cliff overlooking the ocean. Every detail was perfect, from the cantilevered glass to the infinity pool aligned with the horizon. When the project was nearly finished, the client called me into his office for a final meeting. He claimed the marble veining did not match the samples and refused to pay the final balance. The final payment was $150,000, but he told me to consider it a lesson. He knew I could not afford to sue him, and he laughed at my signed documentation. Something inside me shifted. I told him I would have the keys ready in 72 hours. I spent 36 hours machining 4 precise 9mm stainless steel tubes. They were calculated for wind speeds of 20 miles per hour common on that cliffside. I tuned them to a frequency that triggers primal fear in the human brain. On my last night, I installed them deep inside the decorative ventilation channels. In 10 minutes, they were completely invisible, and I handed over the keys the next morning. For 2 weeks, the weather was calm, and the client moved into his quiet new home. Then the first storm hit, and at 2 a.m, the mansion began to scream. A high-pitched wail resonated through the steel frame and amplified off the glass. He spent $80,000 on experts who could find absolutely nothing wrong. Local news ran stories about the haunted mansion, and the client could no longer sleep. 6 months later, he sold the $12 million home for only $6 million. The buyer was a friend of mine who knew exactly what the problem was. He lost $6 million trying to save $150,000. That was his lesson.